I would like to offer a reminder of hope in the midst of this pandemic and share a different perspective for you to consider. It's easy for us to focus on the negative aspects of what's happening around us, but I invite you to redirect your focus to the power of God and community in the midst of this. When the restaurants and the buildings and the churches and the jobs began to close, people had to get creative. They had to figure out how to continue to live and thrive and how to continue their routines in the midst of this pandemic. So families began to gather in their living rooms and study the Bible. And pastors began to stream from their homes, sitting on their sofas, ministering to people all around the nation. People who may have never even attended church are now tuning in, streaming worship services live, praising God in their homes all around the world. News anchors are doing things they've never done before, making unprecedented decisions, inviting pastors to pray with them online. Mayors and governors are praying openly praying to God, inviting Him into this situation. Because jobs have closed their buildings and more parents are working from home, schools have closed their buildings and students are learning from home, there aren't as many distractions. And so now families are able to spend more time together. Moms and dads can help their children with their homework and their assignments. Family game night is back. Family game day has been invented. And people are getting creative with how they spend their time with their loved ones. There's laughter, there's bonding, there's healing and restoration in homes, not even just in the city, the state, the country, but all across the world. The glory of God is literally manifesting before our eyes. God has stripped away our distractions. God has stripped away our excuses. And now all we have is one another. And it is so beautiful if we just stop and pay attention to see the Spirit of God around us. People are giving to the essential workers. People who've lost their jobs are receiving unexpected blessings. Even the seniors are receiving blessings. God is getting the glory out of this. We are not alone in this fight. We are not alone in our prayer. Every time someone is unexpectedly blessed, a prayer is answered. Every time someone witnesses love, every time someone shares love, every time someone spreads hope, a prayer is answered. This pandemic is revealing the heart of God's people. And when you look around and you see communities coming together, and you see people buying groceries for one another, and you see people blessing the essential workers with financial gifts and meals, that is God. Jesus wasn't about the building. Jesus was about the ministry. The Bible doesn't tell us that the church is the building, the place where we stand and go to worship. The Bible tells us the church is the people. And so we see the people coming together. We see the people in their cars, gathering in parking lots to pray, to worship God, to minister, to receive the message and spread the love and light of the God we serve. We see the doctors and the nurses and the hospital staff gathering in the hallways, praying for their patients, praying for each other, praying for the families who are impacted, praying for the miracles of God. People are even gathering outside of the hospitals to pray, to stand in agreement that God is still good, to stand in agreement that God will heal the patients who are afflicted. And God is answering the prayers. Every time a patient is released from the hospital, every time a family is able to spend another day with their loved one, every time the nurse or the doctor or the hospital staff member is even able to go home in good health, God is literally answering our prayers. The teachers are spreading love and light to their students, reminding them of their worth and their value in the midst of all of this, because we cannot forget about the children. This is unsettling for them too, but they are also being remembered, not just by their families, not just by their friends, but even by the educators who know and love them as well. We see teachers doing parades in their students' neighborhoods, teachers doing the Zoom face calls, holding classes and one-on-one meetings, encouraging their students, reminding them of their value, reminding them that they are missed and appreciated, and that they are not alone in this. This is what Christianity is about: community, love, family, in the midst of trials and tribulations. The Bible doesn't say being a Christian means that you won't be tested. The Bible doesn't say that being a Christian means that there won't be famines, pandemics, tribulations. Those things exist. But when you're looking for God in the midst of uncertainty, remember the neighbor who asked if you needed help with anything. Remember the person who prayed online for you. Remember the laughter of your children that you hadn't really had time to hear or even pay attention to because there were so many meetings and you were so exhausted after getting home from a long day's work. This is God. And yes, I know it's hard, and yes, I know it's unsettling, but as we continue to work through this, I encourage you to pray, to praise, and to worship God. Amen.